Hello and welcome, guys. We're going to be doing a beautiful stack of teacups, and I have some fun doodle flowers to show you how to do. Let's get started. Good morning, hello, and welcome to Deliberately Creative. I'm Stephanie, and I want to welcome you to a fun and relaxing doodle time. So it's tea time today, but you can put whatever you want in your coffee cup, teacup, whatever you want to say. I have been following a really neat woman on Twitter, 94 years old, and she has gin o'clock, and she changes it up every once in a while. Instead of having her drink in a regular cup, she has it in her teacup. So whatever you want to have in your teacup is fine by me. Wow, look at this. We've got folks coming on in. Happy unbirthday to Amy. Sweet Amy, who has been a really good supporter of our channel. If you want to support my channel, make sure and click that subscribe button and turn on your notifications for all notifications. That way you'll know when I go live, when I post a video, and when I post a story or on the community tab. I have an idea for some polls that I want to put up on the community tab, and you'll have a voice in what we get to do next. So check that out soon. Later today. Later today. All right. Yay. So we've got Montana. Where's everybody else from today? I know that we've got some Utah in the room. We've got Montana. We have Washington State. I am looking for whoever, wherever, whatever. But I do want to make sure that you know I have a traceable pattern, or you can doodle right on this. So you're set. You don't have to be able to draw these cups out. I will show you how to draw them though. So I'm going to set this one in front of me so I have my pattern to look at. I've been doodling some flowers and doing some different varieties, variations of the same flower with different petals. Isn't that going to be fun? I'll show you as we're drawing on our cups, doodling them. I have Philadelphia, California, Winnipeg, Canada. Woo! Phoenix. Love it. I love having people from everywhere. So I have a handful of pens here. This is a white Signo Uniball, broad tip, UM153. It is my favorite white pen. That's really good for doing small corrections if you need to, or adding highlights. More Washington State, Florida. Woohoo! Then I have a Pigma Micron. I have a Pigma Micron 03. This is called Eco Pen. It is a cardboard tube with the pen inside of it, like that. So you don't have all that extra plastic, and the pen is made with 100% recycled plastic, the whole thing. Just a tiny little bit of metal in it. It has a really great fine needle tip on it. And you have to be careful not to poke yourself with it, because the cap, actually, the pen comes through the cap, but I push it all the way through and use that to thicken up the pen barrel a little bit. But it makes a great line. Then we have the Zebra Sensations Technical Drawing Pen. You don't need all these. I'm just showing them to you so you have an idea that I'm picking up and grabbing whatever I happen to have at hand. So there's also the Uniball Vision Elite. This works really well. This one is a 0.25, very super fine point, blue-black ink, and I don't know what the brand is. Quebec. Welcome, Minnesota. Woohoo! And then we also have the Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pen. I think I have the Uniball pen and the Micron and the Eco Pen listed down below in the more information right now. I need to get the Signo white put down there. But start off grabbing a pencil. Victoria, hey neighbor. I love Victoria, BC. Vancouver Island's one of my favorite places. Maybe because it's so close and it's another country to be so close to. All right, I am drawing on the Arteza 140-pound cold press watercolor paper, but it's dual-sided, so it has a smooth side and a rough side. Whoops, sorry about that. I think since I'm going to use a smaller piece of paper to draw on, and I am going to, I'm just going to draw straight with the pen. I'm going to live dangerously. Let's just draw. I'm going to draw straight with the pen. You can use a pencil and an eraser if you want to. I will show you how we're going to draw in a couple cups stacked. We may not go 4 cups high. I don't know. But to start off with, I am going to put basically like a smile right here. That is the top of the top rim of my cup. The base of my cup needs to follow that same shape, but it doesn't have to be as big. So it's parallel. The top and your bottom of your cup are parallel. This is the only one we have to worry about drawing the top and the bottom of the cup on. Then I am going to draw a line that connects those two. And my cups are going to be wonky, and that's okay. Have wonky cups. I'm not going to draw the lines that are going into the back until after we get the next cup stacked in, because then I know where those lines need to be to connect. So we've got, is it cheesy to say cheerio to someone from the UK? Honest question. I think if you're having fun and they're friends of yours, go for it. I am going to pretend that the handle for this cup is around on the back side so you don't even see it. And we're going to make this one sort of a roughly edged cup. Then we're going to have another cup that is setting inside going at, it's tipped over a little bit. And its handle is basically a trapezoid. You just see the back of it mostly, and then a tiny little leg of it coming down and going in. Look at how that made 3 dimensions show up right there. Easy peasy. So I'm going to flare this cup out. And I'm not worried about getting those lines perfect every time because we're doodling on them. Okay? Now, to make it look like those are sitting down inside, you're going to just do a little line that's slightly arced. To connect. I'm going to drop down just a little bit around that rim. And then go out around it. See? We're making doodles. We don't have to be perfect. So if you're having fun drawing these along with me, let me know. I need to curve that a little bit more to match up to that top edge. There. And I want to put the handle on this one. This one, the handle is going to come off the side. It's going to be a little bit fancier. It's going to be very smooth on the inside. It's going to be delicate though. It's not going to be a super heavy handle. We're going to see a little bit of the top of that handle, and we'll see a little bit of the inside of it also. But see simple lines, easy, simple lines. You don't have to draw super realistic. And you know, I'm not really happy with the line right there. I want it to be a little bit more symmetrical. Totally okay. We can make this work. Oh, yes. You know, there's probably a bit of gin in one of those. Yes, stealing from Grandma's medicine cupboard. All right, and then there's a bit of a plate. And I'm going to show that the plate is coming around behind. So I want a line right here inside that handle. And then it comes around. This is an ellipse or an oval. Now I want to kind of keep my eye on it. So if this is going around, nope, I landed a little short. Guess what? It's okay. I can go like this and give it a line of decoration. And remember, we're doodling, so it can be a little wonkety. Wonkety? Wow. My words. My words can be a little off sometimes. And then we're going to doodle. So see, doesn't have to look exactly like what we had here. This one got pushed up inside. Maybe this is a bigger cup and it got set inside of a littler cup. I don't know. Totally okay. See, it's easy to get these effects when you just take your time and don't worry about it being perfect. Okay, we're going to get this down onto the lovely stripy table now. Don't want to take away my book because that's where all the... Come on, where'd they go? Where'd they go? Oh. You guys want to do buttons? Button flowers? That one's really fun. But this is the page I was going for. And we're going to zoom in here. So I will go like this. We'll zoom in so you can see this a little bit closer up. So I'm going to be making flowers, and these are all different petal shapes that I've got and that just playing with. So this is a heart-shaped petal. This is just put a dot and then put 3 hearts around it, or 4 hearts around it, or 5, 6, 7. This is a smooth round petal. 3 petals, 4 petals, 5, 6, 7. See what I did there? I just chose a petal shape and then did up to 7 petals. This one down here looks kind of like a poinsettia. This one up here looks like a trillium. Button flowers. Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. I will have a fun day. So there we go. This one has curvy flowers, petals, and this has little squared off petals. You can do any shape. So much fun. So welcome again, everyone. Just as a heads up, I've got Gina in the room. She is one of my moderators, and Mark. And that's Mark is my husband, and he is one of my moderators also. So if you have a question and I don't see it, make sure they see it by putting it all in caps. I try to keep an eye on the chat as it's going by, but sometimes I get, into the drawing. So I'm just going to set this up here so I can still see. And I think I want to first kind of make these little odd little lines end up working into my drawing a little better. So I'm going to make some stripes that kind of follow the cup, and I'm going to put the flowers between the stripes. See what I did there, though? I curved that line to follow the line of the cup. See? And I'm going to go ahead and color in these bits that are sort of at the bottom of the handle. And maybe give it another little line right there, just to give me more dimension. That's the only reason I did that. So this top one up here, we're going to do the heart flowers. And I think it doesn't matter how many petals I put on. So I'm doing my centers. I'm just going to drop some centers of flowers around first. This gives me an idea how I want to scatter my flowers. Not necessarily a perfect pattern. That would actually be really cute, just stripes and polka dots. So, do I sell copies of my flower samples? You know, I should probably, that could be one of the perks over on my Patreon. Aha! I will put the my doodle samplers as perks free for my patrons. So if you happen to want any of those, and you can get everything that I've posted on my Patreon, if you sign up for at the base level, which is $2 for a month, you can just you can have access to everything that I have over there. So I have lots of, I've got coloring sheets, I've got photo references, I've got project packs, all kinds of things that are available for my on the Patreon. I could also put it for, like, you know, do some project packs of designs. So which way would you guys like that? Did I doodle on my homework? Absolutely. Absolutely. So right up here, this one at the top edge, I'm going to do a heart. See? And I'm going to do another heart that's just a part of it. Just a part of a heart. And then maybe just a bump of it. Then this one right here, I think might be a 5-petal. Just do hearts. See? And they don't have to match. They don't have to be the same size. It's a lot of fun being able to do this. I'm not sure how many hearts that one's going to get. That one might be a 4-heart. Again, not matching. Packs would be awesome. All right. Okay, I like that. I like that idea. Thank you, Meg. This one is going to be another 4-heart. So 4 hearts can also be shamrocks, can be flowers. You can put 1 or 2 little lines on the insides. Doesn't matter. This just helps it sell a little bit more like it's a flower. You ever heard that, you know, sell it? It's a make people believe. Just like on the theater. In the theater, you sell an act. Ooh, look at that. 5 petals. We'll fit things in between also, if we want to. I mean, it could be that you want to go in and put some tiny little petals. Totally okay. We're doodling, we're having fun, we're making patterns. A pattern is just a set of lines that are repeated. So anytime you do a set of lines or a series of lines and repeat them, it's a pattern. And they don't have to be exactly the same. And they don't have to be, you know, I've got a ton of extra ones. Now, I want to maybe repeat something like this over here, just so that it looks like the pattern is scattered around. So I'll go ahead and put a heart here. This one was a lot of petals. And then tuck a couple little tiny ones in. It's not exactly the same, but it's similar. So yeah. If anybody's interested, I do still have a few of my paintings up on my website on my limited sale. So if you're interested in some original art, I have a couple of my collectors here in the room right now, and they will be receiving their paintings any day now because they were first days up on the sale. They got their first picks. And now I'm going to start filling in a little bit. Maybe I'll put some leaves. So I did some little practice leaves also. Very simple little leaf, I think. We will do just this little rice shape leaf with a stem. So I'm just going to tuck those in. Curve the stem so that way your leaf curves. And you don't have to scatter these on in the same pattern, and they don't have to be as tight to each other. But see how much detail you get just by stacking designs on. And how much fun you'll have coloring it. You can make yourself fun coloring sheets like this. There we go. Yes, doodling is amazing for helping you focus. They've been doing a lot of research on people who are allowed to doodle while they're listening to information tend to recall more of the information that they were given. Just tucking a little one right there underneath the handle. We're going to just stick a couple leaves. They don't have to be perfect. Look at that. So a lot of teachers are actually letting the kids doodle in class while they're taking notes. One of the things with doing the doodling while taking notes is they are giving them sort of a little framework to do that in, and asking them while they're doing their doodling if they could call out words that they hear during the lecture. Doodle around those words. If they, can draw a quick little doodly picture of whatever it is that's being talked about. It helps with the recall. Test scores go up when they do that. All right, I'm going to move on to another flower on a different cup here. So I think this cup, I'm not going to put any stripes on. And there is a small, on the free doodle pattern, which is available on my website, I did a cup with a whole bunch of little, they're like different cherry blossoms or apple blossom type patterns based on some real cups. I got permission from a friend of mine I believe Donna's on YouTube, but mostly she is an artist in Canada, and she collects teacups, but she does amazing abstract paintings and things. And her name's Donna Mulholland, and she is amazing. But she gave me permission to use a photograph of her actual teacups that she had stacked up and shared. Yeah, I know. Where was the research on the doodling? It's just been in the last few years that they've really been talking about it. I'm going to go along the top edge of this cup. Oh, and these pens, these are like, 50 cents a piece. You can get them on Amazon. And they are a little bit hit and miss. So if you lay them down after you've opened them, if you lay it down for a period of time, it's like the tip has just a tiny bit of ink in it, and then it dries, and then the ball doesn't roll anymore. So you have to be careful. These pens always have to stand up. Like, say that was a cup and it was standing up in the cup. And they come in a cardboard tube like this. They're called Eco Pen. So it's like $8 for 16 pens. It's pretty economical, especially given that they are really nice to draw with. So there we go. Just made the top of that have a little bit of separation from that cup behind it. Now I am going to do, I think I want the squared off petal. So this style of petal right here. You can do all kinds of different decoration in them. So this is what it looks like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 petals. And then this is what it looks like when you start decorating them different ways. So you can do super layered doodles. There we go. So this one's going to get the kind of squared off petals. And I think, I'm trying to think if I want, yeah, I do. I'm going to make circles again. Scatter my flowers around. Some of my flowers might even overlap themselves this time. Overlap each other. There we go. Again, wouldn't it be cute just to have a polka dot cup? Just to separate your layers of cups. But they're going to be enough difference in the style of doodles. So now the squared off petals, they're more like trapezoids. So out, back, or they could be kind of triangular. Actually, it might be easier to describe it as triangles with the tip of the triangle slipped in behind that circle, slipped in behind the center. And just fit as many petals in as you want. So you can round off your sides a little bit so they kind of bow in and out. See? So very straight, rounded. You can go back in and you can do all kinds of decoration on them. This type of doodling is one of my most favorite kinds. You're making a pattern just by repeating an element. So we're repeating flowers. Then we'll repeat leaves, and it will be so fun. All right, so did you see what I just did there? I'll do another one in just a minute where we have the petals overlapping. So right here, I'm going to do a flower, and the petals are going to get overlapped by the ones that we did before. So when you draw and you come to a line that's already there, pick up your pen and follow it along and see where the other side of your petal would be. Just like I'm stopping at the edge of the cup. Draw your line. When it comes up to another line, stop and look at it. Where would that meet up? Right there. This one right here. just like that. So now you have flowers on top and flowers underneath. You're getting layers, and it's not hard to do. That's the cool thing. This is not hard to do. You have the full control of your world here. And once you've started doodling more, you can actually say, wow, I should have started with this one right here to be the one on top of everything. And I could have made it a little bit bigger, make it a focus flower, but I didn't. So some of those petals will probably end up underneath of the flower next to it. Stop at a line, look along, and where did it come out? It came out right here. Stop at the line. Where does it come out? Well, it comes out right here and comes back up to the center. There's a line. Lines are stop marks, like little stop signs. And that one I decided I didn't want it to hit underneath. Isn't that fun? Oh, I'd love to see, if you guys have fun pictures, if you join my Facebook page, you can send me messages on Facebook with images of things, and just say in the message, make sure that you give me your real first name and last name, because some of us use other names on Facebook. I won't share any names that are given to me in private messages. I never do that. But give me your first name, last name, and written permission to use your picture in artwork for my YouTube channel. That would be awesome. Well, take care of your dog and speedy healing for them. And I'll see you back here, Miss Amy. Thank you. So now I'm going to make this one bigger. And then these petals here are going to slip in behind, just like that. There's this flower right here. So we can go in and do all kinds of doodling detail on these flowers also. Fun thing to do. Do up the coloring sheet, doodle on it, but don't doodle all of the details into your flowers when you first start. Give it a little bit of time and then look at them and say, ooh, I want to do some stripy flowers, or I want to do, and give yourself a little bit of time to figure out what you want to do on those flowers. I'm just tucking a couple little leaves in. And now that first one right there, it looks a little bit odd. Maybe we will do a little decorating on this one. I want to make those petals a little bit bigger. So you can have stacked up petals. So you've got one special one up there. Maybe I'll stack up some petals over here. I'll just make another little set of petals inside. And maybe this one. Repeat a pattern, and then it doesn't look weird. Just repeat the same thing. Look at that. I don't know that I really want to put too much detail into the flowers. I do want to leave a little bit of room for individualizing some of those flowers. So I think we're going to move on to the next cup. Yeah. All right. So what do we want to put on this bottom cup? I think the bottom one is going to get the sort of leaf shapes as petals. Or, let's see. Yeah, I think leaf shapes as petals, because that would be, we'd have the rounded heart shape, we would have the leaf shape, and we'd have the little squared off shape. So I think it's leaf shape time. Excellent. You know, this is a really good way to just have somebody as companionship in the space. Turn on one of these live videos and just enjoy listening, doing your own work. Many people I've had online on my videos that have been doing the needlework, doing embroidery or crocheting. It's actually pretty good to do that with me because I don't talk numbers while I'm drawing, so I don't mess people up on their counts with their stitches, knitting and crocheting. All right, so all of these are having the round centers, so we're just going to go round centers again. But I will decide which one I want to be sort of a focus flower. Probably shouldn't have done that one right there. That's okay. Up in the corner, right there. Boy, I'm putting a lot on here. That's okay. So I think I'm going to take this one as my focus flower. My focus flower is the one that's going to be on top of everything else. Everything else around it will work underneath of it or next to it. So starting in the center, going out and coming back with a little point on the end of the petals. And they can have a little bit of shape and a little bit of a S curve going with them. They can sort of dance around. This one here. Running into a line, coming back. Anytime you run into a line, just pick up your pen. Pick up the pen, come back. You could have leaves underlapping, being overlapped by petals. So when we go back in and put some leaves in, the leaves don't have to just be in the space between. A leaf could be crossing underneath. Of a petal. And then it's over the top of another flower. I kind of like putting my leaves in after, more so than, and using them as filler for some of those open spaces. So now that leaf right there, that's going to be on top of my flower. That flower just really got tucked in underneath of everything, didn't it? So you have the ability to plan, or you can just let it be very, very freeform. And whatever happens, wherever it lands, is where it lands. There we go. And you can get pretty quick with these, but you don't have to be. You can move nice and slow and take as much time as you want, or as much time as you have. And you can decide if petals are going to touch, or if they're going to be overlapped, or if they don't at all. If you don't want them to touch, you just make your petals smaller. So like say, I just want a tiny little flower right up there and not have it under. See, we've got a big hole right here. Let's put another flower. There we go. You're the one in control of your painting, your drawing. And I really like these sort of tumbling leaves. They can be pointing up, pointing down, pointing left, pointing right. They work really well as filler. So we've got this lovely variation of flowers. I think I am going to put the little center. You know, sometimes you just have to let something sit for a minute and then decide how detailed am I going to go. These are like little letter I's, lowercase I in the middles coming out. Or if you do a dot and then a line, it's like an exclamation point. You can do them either way. Either way makes for fun and interesting details on your flowers. Just remember, if you do it one way, you either do all of them the same, or if you do two ways, you do half and half or a third, and you could even leave one empty. But now that I've done all of the other ones, it feels funny to leave that empty. So there. Down here, I think what I want to do is on these points, I'm going to make a little point coming in. Just decoration on the flower and give it the little crease. I'm really going detailed on a few of these ones because you can just choose something and repeat it over and over. See? Maybe I want those tips to be dark. But I'm not going to do it to all of them. But I might put the little center crease in all of them. So center crease is going on all of them, and then I'll decide which ones are going to get the little special tips. There we go. So easy, very relaxing to do this. If you want to share your artwork with me, please do so. You can share on any of the social media by tagging me at Deliberately Creative. Let's see, so Twitter, actually Twitter, yes, you can do at Deliberately Creative on Twitter also. Instagram, Pinterest. You can pin my video on Pinterest. Did you know that you can pin videos? You can. It's pretty cool. I think that this one is going to have little leaves on the handle. 3 little leaves. Just a decoration. And I am going to put some little shadow lines on the inside of that handle right there. This is that hatching that we went over on Monday. Straight lines next to each other. And remember, when it runs into a line, you pick up your pen. So going sideways, I have that boundary, those lines that are keeping it together in the handle. There we go. Just like that. Nothing too detailed. Nothing too worrisome. I think this is getting a stripe around the bottom. And I'm just going to hatch that in. You know, where I increased the size of my cup ended up with a stripe there, and the inside of the cup up here now is going to get colored in dark. This is just the shadow where the inside of the cup is. It wouldn't necessarily be this dark, but since I'm just shading with the pen, I'm just going to fill it in. Then I'm going to thicken this line that's going across the front of that actual cup right there. And then I'm going to give it just a little bit of that hatching line, just right over the top of my decoration, right over the top of the flowers, but not going down into that space below the lip here. So you see how that's starting to look like it's stacked inside? I mean, we're not going to do a ton of shadowing and shading here, but I'm going to thicken up that little scallop a little bit more. We'll put a decoration down on the plate in just a second. But now I'm going to put a bit of a shadow line hatching going along the sides here, coming up, and I'm tapering it so it's almost like a little triangle of shadow coming down the side. And then we'll just give it a little bit of hatching here. Just little straight lines, little strokes. So it looks like there's a bit of a shadow. Maybe the light is coming from here, sort of spotlighting it this way. So if this was close enough to a wall, the shadow would actually be up on the wall and behind the cup back here. But I'm not going that detailed. Let's see. I think this one is just going to get polka dots going down the handle. With like tiny pin dots in the middle between them. Give it something a little bit interesting. Maybe another leaf under there. And just make it look interesting. Call out shapes that you like. Call them out by outlining or shadowing. But don't get too tied up in it. How's that looking, guys? How are you enjoying it? Are you enjoying it? I am enjoying it, even though it's funny and wonky. It's sweet. Funny and wonky and sweet. So I'm going to go ahead and put some few little lines right down here along this bottom edge, coming up the side, just because there would be a little bit, if the light is shining right here as it's going around, you'll see a little bit of a shadow, and I want something to sort of separate that a little bit from the plate. And maybe right down here where we're attached to the plate, or where it looks like it's connecting, just give it a little bit of a heavier line. Change the line weight up a little bit, and it makes a huge difference. Well, this is looking sweet. All right. So now I am going to actually, I need to put a few more of those little triangles on these flowers. The tips. There we go. It was looking a little bit not quite finished, so I guess I am doing it to all of them. But you notice I'm not being too particular, too worried about making them all look the same. They don't have to match perfectly. If you look at a garden of flowers, they may all look like they came from the same plant, but they don't all look identical. It's kind of like kids in a family. You know, they all came from the same parent set, or they came from the same gene pool. But they don't look the same. Oh, you know, unless they're identicals. There we go. Oh, those are going to be fun to color. Let's see. Do I need... I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, I do. I need one more. I spaced them really weird. Oh, well, this one's going to get it. Put an inside set of petals to this one. That makes me feel better. Looks more like the pattern goes all around. Okay, the plate. The plate can just have a simple pattern on it. I think I will do like a double line going around. Doesn't have to be perfect. Sometimes I have to remind myself, these things don't have to be perfect. It actually looks more charming when you have some wobbles to your lines. And I'm going to say that this front edge is shadowed, and that way I can cover over where my lines were going wonky right here. See how when I drew my circles or my ovals, that line was sort of overlapping funny. Right now it looks kind of like the lid of a coffee can, doesn't it? Maybe it's a mat. Maybe it's a coaster that these are sitting on, or a trivet. They're sitting on a trivet. So it's flat. It's not... See, and then it comes down like this. Okay. So now I have to work in another line right here. Do you see why? Because I have that line right there, and it was slipping down around the front before, and I used it to make that edge of the trivet. So now it looks like it's a... Actually, it's looking like a wood slice. That would be kind of odd to have English teacups sitting on a wood slice, wouldn't it? Oh, I'm so glad that you're excited to do this. And I'm really happy that you guys are here, that you're having fun, taking care of yourself, you know. This is some of the best way to take care of yourself. You can do it in such quick little bursts also. So if you've got a 5-minute break after you've taken care of getting a drink of water or a cup of coffee, you can sit down and do this for a couple minutes. Just on scrap paper, just with a ballpoint pen or a pencil. You're not limited. I'm just looking at this going, what do I want to do? You know, I didn't have this part planned out. Well, actually, I kind of had the cups planned out, but I didn't really have the plate planned out. So I think I am. It's just looking so much like a slice of wood. This is just going to end up being some of that rustic country chic, I guess. Kind of like all of those weddings that are sort of the woodland wedding. And they've got, you know, nice china, but then they have the wood slices holding up candles, or little stumps of wood sitting on the table for the flowers to sit on. So I'm just going to loosely do little ring type outlines. I might go a little bit farther apart on the inside, because the tightest part is underneath of the cup. So this little slab of wood had some really, really rainy years, and then it had some years where it didn't get very much rain at all. Or maybe it was under stress and it just didn't grow well. Get those growth rings going. See, I like to tell stories to myself. How did this happen? How did this develop? Where did it come from? Some of the lines you might see all the way. Some of them might break a little bit. Because we gave it this edge, it's like the space where the bark got peeled off of it. I really like this. It's kind of fun. It's quirky. I hope that you guys... Oh, they're the Eco Pen. I have the link down below in the more information box with what all the materials were that I was using. It is a cardboard pen holder. So when you're done with your pen, the only thing you have to throw away is the actual ink bit. This part can go in the recycle bin. It's just cardboard. It does get, you know, they do get dirty. They don't wash well. You can't really sanitize it very well. So I would suggest, you know, just using it. Keep one for yourself. Keep it for yourself. But you can draw on them. It's kind of fun. You can doodle right on these also. And individualize it. Doodling on a pen. Ooh, that could be a video, right? Let's doodle on a pen. Okay, so that was a squirrel moment. So there we go. And they are really cheap, yes. If you use my link down below, I do earn a small commission from Amazon as an affiliate store. And, you know, it's a way to support my channel without having to go and spend extra money, because when you buy things on Amazon, as long as you're being careful and make sure that you're only, you know, shopping when it's something that you really need to shop for, and that you're only spending what you're comfortable spending. Shop around. Find the best price on things. Don't go with the first price that comes up, because there are times when Amazon seems to gouge a little bit, like on some of those pens that I had showed early in the week. All right. So let's see here. I am looking at the chat, and it looks like we're pretty much done. I'm going to sign this. And I think I'm going to sign it right off the side right here. Down at the bottom. I hope you guys enjoyed this, had fun. You will try it, share with me, share the video with your friends, and make sure that you are doing something creative, taking care of yourself so you can take care of those around you. And I hope to see you back here again really soon.